game for the Blues, they'll both go down in the sporting annals of Origin history.
Paul, your impression of this stadium and what it'll have effect it'll have on the players?
Oh, it's a great stadium, Ken, no doubt about it. I think the rain only adds to the intrigue and mystery surrounding State of Origin football in general. And what we'll see there tonight, who knows what will come, but I know there'll be some very tired and very rain-sodden players at the end of it, and we'll have to wait and see who the victors are.
Well, we've had the crowd pouring in here all day, and we talk about pouring because we've had a lot of rain, but they're hardy and look like they're in for a good fun night.
Yeah, plenty of passion down here as well. We saw that 2 weeks ago up at Lang Park or Suncorp Stadium. Tonight is the chance for New South Wales supporters to get right behind their team. The flags will be flying, the hair has been combed and painted, and I think that the one thing tonight in favour of the Blues will be the noise that these fans can generate. That can lift players in these kind of situations, and hopefully for New South Wales it will be enough to get them over the line in a tight match.
I think this young fellow in years to come will be pretty annoyed with Dad.
That'll be brought out at the 21st birthday tapes, that one. Shocker.
As we mentioned earlier, the Origin crowd record was set at the MCG some 5 years ago. Paul Harrigan was the man of the match for New South Wales, and back in March he was the first player out of the tunnel here on the NRL's opening day at Stadium Australia. And he's with us again tonight. Chief, you've played at the MCG, Lang Park and Wembley, and you've won a grand final at the Sydney Football Stadium. How does this place stack up?
I think without a doubt this is probably the best out of all of them, because the simple reason those other grounds can be intimidating. I found this ground to be superb. Probably the biggest surprise was the lack of noise. We prepared all week when we played our first game here with the Knights for the noise, making sign languages for the tap moves and other plays. We didn't need them. I think the noise just dissipated into the air, and I think it's because most of those other grounds have the roof going right round the stadiums. Where each end of this stadium has no roof, the noise just gets away. It was a great ground to play on.
Well, Paul, is it an advantage tonight for the New South Wales side playing in front of these fans?
Oh, it certainly is. Look, this is a great ground, and I know I come in on the bus with the boys. They're very pumped up, and it's a home game for us. It's a big occasion. There's going to be a big crowd here and a few records. And this track is a great track. The grass is made nicely. It's a real fast track, even though the conditions now are probably near waterlogged. I think it's going to be a great match for them.
Yeah, on the other hand, though, I will say this. Queensland record in Sydney in the last 6 years is very, very good. I think we've won 5 out of our last 6 down here. And if I'm a Queensland running it there tonight, I'm pretty excited. I mean, they're all hating me, and that's going to work for the Queenslanders. Don't worry about that.
Paul, just one more question. We noticed that you came on the New South Wales bus. I'm just wondering what the feeling was there.
It was a great feeling. It was a hard bus trip because it took around about an hour and a half, so there was a little bit of agitation there. They're in good spirits and they're ready for a big match.
Good on you, and we look forward to having you throughout the coverage. In the meantime, I've got to remind you that out there they've turned the lights out because we've got some entertainment going on, but when the lights go up, you know that we're going to have plenty of good football action. In less than half an hour, the players will be out there in the middle of this giant bowl. Earlier tonight, we sent Steve Roach out into the centre field to sample the sensation.
Well, thanks very much, Ken. Wet but happy, mate. This is unbelievable down here, and I'm almost envious of all the players that are going to pull on that blue jumper or maroon tonight. Just imagine 100,000 screaming New South Welshmen. Make that 1,101. Oh, no, I'll go again. Sorry. Sorry, mate. 100,001, sorry.
Straight into it?
Yep.
3, 2.
Yeah, well, these things do happen even on the big nights here at Stadium Australia, but it is going to be a huge night. And I think one thing we've got to remember, Peter Sterling, is that wet weather football can be great football. We've seen some good matches.
Yeah, because the rain has come down, it doesn't mean that both sides will go into their shell. Obviously, they have to pay great attention to ball control and field position, but I think maybe the teams that show a little bit more adventure in these kind of conditions are the ones who do come up trumps.
Just on that, Pete, I believe now that New South Wales has a distinct advantage in the kicking games, especially with Fittler and, of course, Andrew Johnson, Laurie Daly, all very good kickers of the football. Queensland have got Paul Green and Kevin Walters, only part-timers, so New South Wales has a huge advantage there.
Okay, in the preparation we saw last time up in Queensland, the changes were made late to the New South Wales team. Nothing like that tonight. That's an advantage. Do you think that's good for the New South Wales team?
I think it has to be, Ken. Although, let's put it in perspective. I asked the players about that, and most of the all the players knew 5 or 6 days in advance. So it wasn't as though it was sprung an hour before the game. But I think probably a more settled situation for the New South Wales team tonight. Maybe we learned a valuable lesson from game 1.
Okay, already the stadium resembles a giant's ant's nest, absolutely crawling with life. But like every ant's nest, there is as much happening below the ground as there is above. Andrew Voss has been investigating.
Well, Ken, a little bit damp on Origin night at the Olympic Stadium. There's three atmospheres. There's the hustle and bustle of the fans making their way into the ground. There's those already inside the stadium anticipating kickoff. And then there's level O. Now, this is a thriving metropolis beneath the stadium. That's where we're headed now. Driver, if you will, get us started, and I'll take you on a tour, the viewers at home. And here we are. How it's different to Lang Park and the Sydney Football Stadium from recent years, where the players get their team bus to the ground, then got off outside the ground and then have to push their way through the fans. Here it's door-to-door service. They go from their team hotel right to the dressing room door without getting a taste of the ground and inside the stadium. Now, coming up, we've got the players' entry. It's quite incredible down here. It's a 1 kilometre circuit underneath the stadium. There's room for 300 cars. There's the players' entry over there. Further along, we've got the VIP entry. This is where all the top heavies and the special invitees of the NRL will be going in tonight. They've got the main kitchen down here. Now, they reckon too many cooks spoil the broth. Well, there's 140 chefs in the main kitchen. Among the menu tonight will be 30,000 hot dogs. And if you get a little bit thirsty here at the stadium, they reckon they can cater for 85,000 schooners of beer in 1 hour. So plenty of reasons to taste and toast a victory tonight, be it the Blues or Queensland. A quick glimpse of the stadium arena, and then round to here where our broadcast area is coming to the viewers at home tonight. And our weather-beaten crew from Channel 9, I'm a little bit wet tonight, but the weather-beaten crew who endure the wind and the rain and the cold all through the year, this is like heaven for them. Ken, it's a remarkable stadium. It's a great night. Back to you.
Thank you, Andrew. It is a city beneath a city down there, and coming in tonight, I went around the stadium twice looking for the little spot that we're supposed to be in, but it's quite enormous and absolutely impressive, isn't it?
It is indeed, and obviously the Olympics next year will be fantastic because we have the facilities to come up with a great spectacle.
All right, the team arrivals. We've got New South Wales first out, and of course this is something very special for them. They know they've got to win this to keep the series alive.
Yeah, well, they'll be nervous, but they'll realise that the job is at hand, and we heard from Paul Harrigan it was a long bus trip, but I'm sure that Wayne Pearce and the senior players will have stressed the importance of starting well tonight. I've got no doubt that Queensland in the first 20 minutes got the ascendancy in the first game. That is always fraught with danger at Origin level. So plenty of players out there have got to make sure they get early touches and dominate in defence. There'll be plenty of running from Jeff Tuvey. Anthony Mundine, of course, will have an impact coming off the bench. And that man there, Mark Carroll, I think we'll see him have about 8 hit-ups in the first 10 minutes. Ryan Girdler starting tonight. That's a good move because he is one of the form players of the NRL competition.
Tell you what, it looks like a first-class hotel. There's the Queensland side.
Yeah, the boys have only stayed at the Parramatta Park Royal, which isn't that far away, 10 to 15 minutes. I'm sure they had a nice leisurely trip here. And, of course, you're getting off the bus there. They're heading out. Interesting, Jack Gibson on the Queensland bus, former New South Wales coach. But, of course, he is very good friends with their coach, Mark Murray, and giving him a helping hand tonight. Wendell Saylor, I expect a lot more running from Wendell tonight, playing as an extra forward. Darren Smith's always strong. What happens, the boys go into the dressing room, they'll stow away their baggage, head out through the tunnel onto the ground, have a walk around, then they'll settle into the grandstand amongst family and friends until it's time to go in and get dressed. And then it's all action stations there, talking to each other, getting themselves G'd up, maybe some players sitting silently in a corner and waiting for the big moment to run on.
All right, the Queensland boys arrive here tonight, leading the series 1-0, as we pointed out. One man largely responsible, that is the player who scored all their points in Game 1, debutant Matt Rogers. As we go to the break, he shares some thoughts on his first Origin experience.
I think Darren Smith sort of summed it up in a pretty good way. I said to him before the game, I said, what happens? Does everyone just get stronger and faster or something? He said, no, he said, I think it's just everyone's trying to have the game of their life on one night, you know.
If you're buying a car, don't just take the dealer's deal for insurance. Before you sign anything, try GIO for comprehensive insurance and CTP green slips. One call could save you plenty. So phone 131010 and get the good news the way it ought to be.
Hardware House has the biggest range of tools at the best prices. The big tool sale will blow you away. Like a Triton Work Centre, best price in town, only $439. Hundreds more big tool specials available. It's all here at Hardware House.
You only have 1 week.
Then it's gone.
A huge Retrovision clearance sale of $99.
The savings are store-wide.
massive.
VCRs, washers, fridges, it's all reduced.
Like a CD radio cassette, just $99. And the big 68cm TV, save $100. Now $799 with 3-year warranty.
As we said.
You only have 1 week.
And that ain't long.
For the huge Retrovision clearance sale of $99 with sensational store-wide savings.
Make your windows come to life with vertical blinds from Lakeview Blinds, Awnings and Curtains. And this month only, they're 40% off the entire range. Create a new look in your home with the versatility of vertical blinds at a very versatile 40% off. Vertical blinds 40% off this month only at Lakeview Blinds, Awnings and Curtains.
If you're about to buy a used car, the next 60 seconds could save you thousands. Because you always get a better deal at Gloucester Ford. Gloucester Ford gives you a better range with hundreds of excellent used cars to choose from. Everything from family sedans and wagons to four-wheel drives and hatches. There's a used car for everyone at Gloucester's. Gloucester Ford gives you better value for money because every one of our hand-picked used cars is the best of its kind and priced with you in mind. There's a used car for every budget at Gloucester's. Gloucester Ford gives you better protection with our exclusive 3-year up to 175,000 kilometre warranty on every used car. That's guaranteed peace of mind from Gloucester's. And Gloucester Ford gives you better after-sale care from our state-of-the-art service centre, including the convenience of an exclusive overnight service. So for better choice, value, warranty and service, make sure you see Gloucester Ford, Tudor Street, Hamilton, where you always get a better deal.
With the massive power and torque of its big 4-litre V6 and new air pump shockers, the new Ford Explorer tames the toughest terrain. New Ford Explorer. The adventure begins at your Ford dealer.
Wonderful shot there from the Goodyear blimp. The stadium, the lights are out right now because there's a bit of entertainment going on out there in the field. Noise works, and let me tell you, it is very noisy, but wonderful pictures there from the Goodyear blimp. Welcome back to Stadium Australia for round 2 of the Harvey Norman State of Origin series. In their bid to square the series, the Blues have made a few changes to the side, beaten by a point at Suncorp a fortnight ago. And Sterlo, you can take us through the lineup.
Well, Ken, in fact, there have been 5 changes made by the Blues, 2 of those players making their debut. In the front row, both Mark Carroll and Jeff Tuvey have been recalled to pack down alongside Rodney Howe. Carroll has played 5 State of Origins, Jeff Tuvey 10. Carroll, the oldest player tonight, at 32. And then behind those players, we have the back row of Brian Fletcher, Nick Kosef, and of course Brad Fittler. He locks the scrum and also captains the team tonight for the 8th time. Very strong back row, some good ball players there in Kosef and Fletcher, and Fittler one of the best. And speaking of the best, 2 of the greatest players in the world for mine, Laurie Daly at 5'8" and Andrew Johns at half-back. Laurie Daly back in his preferred position of 5'8", and of course this is the last time he will play in a sky blue jersey in Sydney. He's promised a blinder. In the centres, Ryan Girdler and Terry Hill. Girdler came off the interchange bench in game 1, tonight deservedly in the run on side, and Terry Hill, I thought he had a fantastic game, stepped around Matt Singh to set up the only try in that first match. And the back 3 tonight, Adam McDougall, only 2 games back for Newcastle after his long layoff. He's on one wing, Matt Geyer on the other, and Robbie Ross, very safe and reliable in his first 80 minutes at Origin level. The 2 players making their debut tonight, Michael Vella from Parramatta and Ben Kennedy from Canberra, and they'll be sitting alongside Luke Ricketson and Anthony Mundine. Of course, he's a great impact player and did get the only 4-pointer 2 weeks ago. Coached by Wayne Pearce.
Yes, well, it's a solid-looking team. There's no doubt about that. They know the job they've got to do tonight. Laurie Daly has said he wants to have a beauty.
I'm sure that he will. He's a big match player, and we've seen at times.
This is a very strong front row. Shane Webke, Jason Hetherington and Craig Greenhill. Hetherington, of course, was our man of the match in the hooking role in the first game, had an absolute blinder, as did Craig Greenhill. Very tough, very uncompromising. The back row, this is where I think Queensland can win it tonight in these 3. Gordon Tallis, Chris McKenna and Jason Smith. Especially Smith. If one player's going going to make a difference out there tonight, I think it will be him with his running game. He's a fantastic player. Paul Green, a very experienced player with the Cronulla club, now playing with North Queensland, gets his chance, and Kevin Wallace becomes only the 8th Queensland captain in their history. He'll do very well. He'll lead them around the park with a lot of grace. Matty Singh and Darren Smith. Darren Smith is one of the best wet weather players I've ever seen. He'll act sometimes as an extra forward, and he'll get the job done. Matty Singh looking to make up for that mistake when Terry Hill stepped around him in the first game. Matty Rogers, Wendell Saylor and Robbie O'Davis. I spoke about extra forwards with Darren Smith. Wendell Saylor will play in exactly the same role. He'll take some pressure off them, take a run in his own quarter, 30 metres out. Robbie O, very safe, a very talented interchange bench. Benny Eichen. Stephen Price, I believe, is the best kick chaser in the game. He'll get plenty of time on the field tonight. Tony Carroll and Martin Lang. Very strong side, Kenny.
Well, let's have a look at how Queensland are looking here in the dressing room, because their kicking game, Paul, by everyone's admission, wasn't good, but they got away with it and they won the first one. They'll be looking for an improvement there.
Well, they did. Matty Rogers, probably the same tactic there from coach Mark Murray, coming in behind the ruck, and Robbie O'Davis moving to his wing. He's got a fairly long kicking game. Martin Lang, you know he'll get plenty of time. He's very tough. Wendell Saylor, spoke about him as the extra forward. There's the coach Mark Murray in his second game as well, geeing up the players. Very nervous times for them right now, and they just can't wait till about 7 minutes time.
Okay, the New South Wales coach with the best record of Origin successes, current Sydney City mentor, Phil Gould. Welcome, Phil. What players do you believe are going to make the difference out there tonight?
Very, very important tonight, mate. Whatever tactics were devised during the week, there would have been some urgent messages now that this rain has set in for the evening. For New South Wales, I think Andrew Johns holds a big key tonight. For mine, the New South Wales backs just didn't get involved enough in game one. They didn't come in and help the forwards enough. Andrew Johns has got to make sure he gets them in there, running from dummy half, also getting them out on the edges with some long passes. His kicking game will also be very vital. Plays a big key, as Pixie in the wet. When they're on the attack, I think Andrew Johns has got to take them on a little bit more with Fittler and Daly. Not throw the ball so wide, take them on around the rucks with shorter passes, and maybe that's the key to beating Queensland tonight.
Okay, and Rob, Queensland, I mean, you rate them as they'll be so desperate to wrap this up tonight that's going to be very, very difficult for New South Wales to match them in enthusiasm?
Well, I don't know about that. I think New South Wales will be very keen. They're desperate to win to level the series. But same thing, State of Origin stand up on their own, and Queensland will really want to win tonight. Kevin Walters is the key for mine. He's got the captaincy tonight. Adrian Lamb tells me out of game one, even though he was captain, that Kevin Walters' leadership was very valuable to the side. A great player. He probed around the rucks in game one and found a few holes for them. He's also a key in defence, because a lot of play is going to be run at Kevin Walters. He's a little bloke with a big heart. He puts up with that every week, and his defence just might be what stops New South Wales from getting the breaks they want. Kevin Walters, a very important player for the Maroons tonight.
Thanks very much, Phil. We'll look forward to your comments throughout the evening. And Sterlo, you've got a football there. What are you going to do? Go out and play?
Mate, the balls are different tonight. There's a bit of criticism after the amount of drop ball in game one that the new balls were the problem. So tonight, Eric Cox, he's actually gone out, got the new balls, boiled them, covered them in the lawn bowler's grippo, and that'll do the job. There won't be one ball drop tonight, Ken. It'll be sensational for 80 minutes. Ball won't go to ground.
Because Eric's been with the ARL for so long, he knows all the tricks of the trade. But I'm wondering if somebody's going to throw a huge dummy here later on this evening. The ball's just going to stay in there.
Mate, I actually used one of these balls once, and the grippo, it did stick. It ended up being a second-man pass when it wasn't supposed to be, but the players will handle it tonight.
Okay, we're just a few minutes away from the kick-off here at Stadium Australia. We'll return in just a moment to sample the emotions right here, tense final minutes before kick-off at Stadium Australia. Don't go away.
It's a very empty feeling. You don't get your line crossed and you still lose a State of Origin match. It's pretty hard to take.
Hopefully, we can get them in the second game. Get on out there and cheer us on, because I'm sure it'll be a great spectacle.
If you're buying a car, don't just take the dealer's deal for insurance. Before you sign anything, try GIO for comprehensive insurance and CTP green slips. One call could save you plenty. So phone 131010 and get the good news the way it ought to be.
We're both very independent, Roger and me. It's like, everyone has their space in the house, basically. Yeah, we like to do our own thing. He's out a lot. I don't know what he gets up to. I would like to know, but I don't. We have this sort of relationship where there's perhaps it's a false sense of independence. Maybe we're just hopelessly codependent. I don't know what it is, but I love him.
Yeah, we've got a flat rate by Bournemouth Beach.
Telstra's new easy rates. Low flat rates by the minute or the half hour to every country in the world.
Hey, I'm even getting a bit of a soft spot for the wallabies.
Like New Zealand. For a quick call, dial 0011 for 28 cents a minute. Or for a long chat, dial 0018 and save even more with a $6 half-hour block.
Sure you're okay over there, cuz? Never better.
Making it easy for you.
Eating is desire, desire for taste. But after every meal, plaque acid can attack teeth, increasing the risk of tooth decay. Chewing extra sugar-free gum not only tastes great, but every time you chew, you produce saliva, which neutralizes plaque acid to strengthen teeth against decay. So chew extra to help protect your teeth against decay.
Recognised by the World Dental Federation.
I can't believe I'm 50.
50? 50 what?
Does that make me a grandmother?
He's not 50.
50?
He's older than that.
You're kidding.
Did you know John Farnham is turning 50 this year?
I can't believe I'm 50.
You're invited to John Farnham's 50th. Join John and his friends, Human Nature, Kate Sobrano, James Rain, Merrill Bainbridge, Ross Wilson and Nana's Army.
This month, Newcastle Entertainment Centre. 3 shows only. Final tickets on sale now.
Let's party.
This weekend at Cardiff Toyota, you can save thousands on new Toyotas, Subarus, Kias and quality used vehicles.
But wait, there's more!
And this weekend...
But wait, there's more!
What?
You're all right, Cardiff Toyota!
Your pop-top, wanted. Your camper trailer, wanted. Your caravan, wanted. Yes, the new Pasco's caravans need your caravan urgently. Phone now and we'll come to you and put money in your pocket. Hurry, phone now. 0266 524055.
Welcome back. Many of the players on both sides will have at least one club game here at Stadium Australia, but Origin night is a totally different occasion. Testing the atmosphere outside the New South Wales dressing rooms of 2 veterans of Origin football, Andrew Edding.
Back to you, Kenny.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Alf. And they look as if they're fit enough to play. When we return, we'll join Ray Warren and the team for all the action. The Harvey Norman State of Origin Round 2 from Stadium Australia on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Can't start celebrating yet, you know. We'd love to win a series.
To run out on Stadium Australia being the enemy will be something different.
Next time you need a CTP green slip, try GIO. It's as easy as making one call. Then you can pay over the phone at any GIO branch or any Australia post office. So call 131010 and get the good news the way it ought to be.
Some people thought I was crazy.
Professor Clark had an idea to help some people to hear.
The bionic ear.
This required a tiny implant.
It's very small.
But it was only possible with help from telephone engineers here in Melbourne.
Telstra's research and development projects.
Minute twice the secretary.
Making it easier to achieve what we once thought impossible.
And this led to the development of what we now know as the bionic ear.
Hardware House has the biggest range of tools at the best prices. The big tool sale will blow you away. Like the Ryobi 12-volt cordless drill with bonus torch at crazy $99. Hundreds more big tool specials available. It's all here at Hardware House.
Kia Mentor. If it didn't have to stop for fuel, it wouldn't stop. From 16,990, drive away with air.
Dreaming of an Aussie holiday?
I know a place. We'll take you there. Ain't no people crying. We'll take you there.
With Rebel Sports' huge winter range, anyone can save. Spend $90 or more on winter clothing and get a $35 jersey cotton Fila t-shirt absolutely free at Rebel Sport.
Anyone can play.
Your pop top, wanted. Your camper trailer, wanted. Your caravan, wanted. Yes, the new Pasco's caravans need your caravan urgently. Phone now and we'll come to you and put money in your pocket. Hurry, phone now. 0266524055.
Tonight's State of Origin proudly brought to you by Bundaberg Run, GIO Australia, for a green slip call 131010, and Hardware House, Australia's #1 home improvement centre.
The scene is set here at Stadium Australia for this historic State of Origin encounter between New South Wales and Queensland. To bring us all the action, the Nine Network commentary team, headed by the voice of rugby league, Ray Warren.
Thank you, Ken, and welcome as we witness another chapter in the history of State of Origin unfolding before our cameras and, of course, before these very, very brave fans. Sydney has been deluged since about 3 o'clock this afternoon, but the fans have flocked here to Stadium Australia, hosting, of course, its first Origin match, a capacity of 110,000 people, tested on the opening weekend of the NRL, but I doubt that it's going to be tested tonight. Having said that, it is a tremendous crowd, nevertheless, probably in the area of 85 towards 90,000 people. As you can see, the crowd shots that the Channel 9 cameras are bringing you, and of course taking these pictures right across to the United Kingdom through Sky Sports to Papua New Guinea. But it is still a great atmosphere. The stadium that will play main host to the Olympics in the year 2000. Let's have a look at that New South Wales side again. Here's Peter Sterling with it.
This is the side looking to keep the series alive, Ray. Robbie Ross at fullback, McDougall and Matt Geyer on the wings, Ryan Girdler and Terry Hill the centre pairing, Laurie Daly's at 5'8", he loves being there, Andrew Johns at halfback, Brad Fittler is the lock forward and the captain, Kosef Fletcher the second rowers, Rodney Howe, Jeff Tooby and Mark Carroll make up the front three, and off the interchange bench, Ricketson, Vella, Kennedy and Mundine, coach Wayne Pearce.
Two of those players, of course, are debut players, Vella and Kennedy. Here's the Queensland side with Paul Vorton.
Yeah, the team looking to win the series tonight. Robbo Davis fullback, Matt Rogers and Wendell Saylor on the wings, Matty Singh and Darren Smith in the centres. Kevin Walters, well done Kevy, captains Queensland tonight. Paul Green at halfback, Jason Smith locked forward. Chris McKenna, Gordon Tallis in the back row, with Craig Greenhill, Jason Hetherington and Shane Webke in the front row positions. The interchange of Benny Eichen, Stephen Price, Tony Carroll and Martin Lang, coached by former Queenslander Mark Murray.
So Stadium Australia, and a crowd of, as I said, I imagine around about 85,000, but almost impossible to forecast. The Maroon dressing room, of course, they hold the balance of power at 1-0 in the series, and of course I suppose it comes down to, will Queensland shut the series down tonight, or will New South Wales survive?
Well, history and statistics are against the Blues. They've gone into 8 Game 2 matches 1-0 down, and on one occasion they've gone on to win the series. So it's not a happy place to be, 1-0 down in this best of 3. So the Blues are up against it in that department, but stats mean nothing to them at the moment. They've got to go out and do the best and win the game.
And that's exactly what Queensland are doing now. They're going out to a reception tonight from the New South Wales crowd, which is probably no different to what the Blues experience when they go to Suncorp Stadium. The crowd waits for them. The Queenslanders leave the dressing rooms with only one on debut, and that, of course, is Paul Green. So here they are, led out by Kevin Walters, his first time at the head of the Queensland side. A very proud moment for the 31-year-old. In fact, the oldest player in the Maroon side is Kevin Walters. And as I said, it's something that he will never forget. He's been a great ornament, a great rugby league exponent and ambassador for Queensland, and of course for Australia. Kevin Walters, he's witnessed the ups and downs of life in the last couple of years. He's got some great players around him. Matt Singh, for instance, playing in the centres, gives them tremendous fabric out there. In the three quarters, as the Blues now, with their new look side, they take the field. 5 of them, 5 new faces to the side that was fielded at Suncorp just a fortnight ago. And the new faces of Carroll and Tuvey, together with McDougall, bring with them 18 Origin games. So 18 matches of experience amongst those 3 players. And, of course, I haven't included the two debutants, but Vella and Kennedy on the bench. And there they are. They're out there with Brad Fittler at the head of proceedings, captaining the Blues for the 8th time. His record reads 3 victories and 4 losses. And the Blues going to the left of the stadium, heading off towards the northern end of the Stadium Australia here tonight. Brad Fittler, the young captain. Youngest ever, in fact, to play for Australia, Brad Fittler. And an enormous job in front of him tonight. But he'll be quite comforted by the fact that he will be packing into the back of the scrum. That's your job. That's been given to you. And Laurie will be out in number 6. Steve Roach is down there in this driving, drenching rain. Good evening to you.
Oh, who cares? How good's this? This is unbelievable atmosphere. There's a few more people than when I spoke a little bit earlier. I've got to tell you, I'm a little bit worried about the Queensland go forward. Lang, Webke and Tallis must be contained by the New South Welshmen if they are to go on and win this, but their backs are against the wall. They really need to win this one. 15 degrees, a light nor'easterly. New South Wales have won the toss and are running left to right.
It was because of his appointment that Wayne Pearce declared that he would run with the team given to him by selectors. In fact, Stephen Clark represents the 15th referee who have conducted a State of Origin match. Starting 20 years ago, back in 1980. They played 20 times in Sydney, and that has worked out at 10-all. So this is match 21 in Sydney for the Harvey Norman State of Origin Game 2, 1999. As I said earlier, Spud Carroll coming back for the first time 2 years down the track in rep football with a big run. And now his front row partner, Rodney Howe. Tallis there to meet him with Webke. As we come away from the 20-metre line, this is Fletcher, put down on his own 20. So it's Johns now going wide, finding Daly. They immediately try and get round, and Girdler's making a great run. Support coming on his inside. Robbie Ross is away. Robbie Ross is going to make it. Robbie Ross is over. New South Wales are in. First set of 6. An amazing start for the Blues. They have gone right around Queensland. And a sensational try. Girdler breaking into space off a Daly special. And then it was Robbie Ross, I feel, who's come in wide in the back line.
Yeah, put this one down for Wayne Pearce. It was just a great set move. They sent some decoys through. The cutout pass travelled 20 or 30 metres. Ryan Girdler's first touch in the run on side. He runs 40 metres. And Robbie Ross, he's a great support player. He's got 15 tries in the season proper. He gets the first tonight. Lovely little offload there from Laurie Daly onto Ryan Girdler. He split Darren Smith and Matt Rogers. And 42 seconds into this match, the New South Wales team take the lead.
Yeah, well done, Wayne Pearce. He's watched tapes. He's spotted a weakness out there early in their defensive pattern in the tackle count. And Robbie Ross finishes off a fantastic try. I've never seen anything like it. It might even be the quickest Origin try. It would have to be. Absolutely brilliant stuff from New South Wales. And the timing of the pass from Girdle back on the inside of Ross was very important. Everything was done perfectly.
He had to reach behind him a little bit, Robbie Ross, but when Ryan Girdler got away, I think he could have thrown the ball to either McDougall or to the try scorer, Robbie Ross, and it would have been the same result. It's a planned move, it's worked to perfection, and Craig Greenhill, well, that's insult to injury, isn't it? Blood bin in the opening minute.
Well, dreams do come true, but I would imagine that Wayne Pearce and the New South Welshmen have been dreaming of that since Suncorp Stadium a fortnight ago, and Girdler converts a try that he took a big part in. 6-0 New South Wales after 2 minutes. And Steve Roach on the sideline. Sit down, take it in again.
You've got to put it down to the element of surprise. They wouldn't expect New South Wales to throw the football out to the left-hand side early. They'd expect them to bash it up for the first set and settle in. They didn't do that. Robbie Ross, what a great support player he is, and what a start for the Blues.
So we do it all again. The try coming officially 42 seconds into the game, and Carroll reenacts the start of play.
Come on, put on the same move, make it 12.
Howe does the same, and that's where I think Greenhill probably got wounded in the first time round on take 1. Now Cosset, and he will play the ball just inside their own 40-metre line, New South Wales, with Tooby, a dummy half and a penalty to the Blues. Stephen Clark penalising in the play the ball, the Queenslanders. And so Andrew Johns will come over and find the line. There's the man that got pinched in the penalty, and it was Chris McKenna. The only run-on player that hasn't played international football for Queensland. Rodney Howe again now. Rodler, Darren Smith comes out of the deep and puts him away, and the scuffle continues to be broken up by Laurie Daly. Johns puts a kick in. Saylor goes back to help his fullback, Robbie O'Davis. It is O'Davis who comes beyond the 20-metre line, his own end of the park.
And both teams have shown their intentions very early. New South Wales quite prepared to throw the football wide as the Maroons get their first penalty. Another play the ball infringement. While Queensland have shown they want to play field position. We saw Kevin Walters kick long and deep early in their tackle count. Fortunately, this little scuffle between Hill and Tallis, it didn't escalate.
The penalty was against, again, one of the New South Welshmen in the play the ball, Martin Lang, who's been, of course, in the spotlight of rugby league discussion since his match at Marathon Stadium the other day. Now Woodkey, pulled down by Carroll. Carroll lined him up like target practice. Hetherington to the right, Green short ball. McKenna comes off the right foot. Daly puts him away. Carroll coming over the top, and I think he probably hurt Daly more than he did the ball carrier. Now they've gone through to Walters, and Walters puts a kick in, heading down into the bottom corner, and it'll be urgent from McDougall. Out of who? Beautiful work down there on the bottom corner from Rogers and McDougall, and that cameraman who's absolutely been pole-axed in performing his task.
And it's been taken out by New South Wales, so it'll be a goal line dropout. Good tactics from Kevin Walters early in tackle count. Twice now he's kicked with some strong kick chase, that time from Rogers. It'll be unsettling for the Blues.
So Johns giving the ball back to Queensland. He kept it low, and it's coming back via Martin Lang. Lang taken by the shoulder of Fletcher, but more importantly by an orthodox Daly tackle. Hetherington left, and Webke takes it up, and then Howe is there with Fletcher. Got it away, Hetherington for Walters. Walters is with the ball after it was handled there by the halfback Paul Green. They're 20 metres out centre of the ground, to the right they go. And again from Green. It's gone to Jason Smith. Now Gordon Tallis stepping from one. Tackled on the 10-metre line. And there's the high shot, showing them come back to the left of the ground for Jason Smith. Beating one, taken in a second. Right in front of the sticks, there they are. Pictures coming from the Goodyear blimp tonight. The aerials, across it goes now. McKenna's put down 9 metres from the line. Now, from Singh, it's gone to Green. A grubbing kick and a chance, but Ross is there. Perfectly stationed. So it's been a big start for Robbie Ross. He's had his critics, but he's certainly coming through Origin 2 as strong as he did in Origin 1.
And that was a very important set of 6 for New South Wales. After their great start, they couldn't allow their line to be crossed so early in the game as Brad Fittler takes the ball over the 20. The defensive effort of Laurie Daly in the opening 7 or 8 minutes here has been quite superb. He leads the tackling, and they've been great tackles as well. Plenty of venom as Andrew Johns kicks centre field.
And you would have noticed that Mark Carroll is off. He's gone to his first rest period, and young Michael Vella from Parramatta, the boom prop forward, is on the paddock at the moment. Ball to be played by Matt Rogers, the scorer of all those points for Queensland. He's not well, Rogers. He got up very gingerly as his other winger, Saylor, takes it ahead, and there's a limping Matt Rogers retiring to the extremities of the park as Webke is thumped to the ground right on the halfway line. 6-0, an amazing start for the Blues. They were over to put the ball by Hill, defending on the right side of defence, and Daly is working overtime in defence.
He's having a great game, and the quality of the match has been sensational considering the weather we've got. And Jeff Turvey, he'll make a huge difference tonight to the Blues, not only with his crisp passing to dummy half, but as the forwards get tired, you'll see him run a lot more as well.
Played there by Lang, and Hetherington offloads, and Price it is that takes it just outside the Queensland 40-metre line. They lead 1-0 in the series. They can wrap the series up here tonight. As Rogers puts in a kick, he seems to be okay. He's free in his action, and the ball goes over the touchline for a scrum to restart play back 10 metres from the New South Wales line.
Well, you've got to pay credit to both teams so far. As Paul mentioned, the control of the football in the opening period of this game has been wonderful. You get the feeling, though, that the first team that come up with a mistake are going to be heavily criticised from their own teammates. They'll be given a mistake. Adrian Lamb be a little bit disappointed sitting on the sideline, wishing it could be out there more than anything else. Wouldn't be enjoying watching the scoreboard at the moment. His teammates, well, there are 6 points behind. The game's a long way from over. But gee, it's been an impressive start by the Blues.
Special comments, of course, from Wally Lewis, who joins us at Origin time. We've got Andrew Eddinghausen, Alan Langer, Steve Roach, and, of course, the regulars are in the box tonight. Tuvey now, back on his own 20-metre line, and that's a zero tackle for them as it comes away with Kosef now. And the Manly back rower is brought down just beyond the 30. They go to the left and they use a wide blindside with Howe and an offload after a hit and spin back for Girdler. Girdler is on the 40-metre line now. Pictures going through Sky Sports in the United Kingdom. We welcome you people as New South Wales get a penalty. Sky New Zealand, TV3 New Zealand, and MTV in Papua New Guinea. Welcome to you all as Daly continues his fine game in State of Origin 2, his last in Sydney. He's giving it away, rep football, so this is farewell for Laurie Daly in the sky blue in front of a Sydney audience. Fletcher now will play it, 30 metres out, right in the centre of the park. 6-0, Tuvey putting something together. Rodney Howe running at Matt Singh. Singh puts him down. The Blues set it up on the left of the ground, and it's with Johns and a dummy to Fittler. They go over to Fletcher. The pass has gone backwards, scooped up brilliantly by Johns. Daly puts a kick in over the head of Robbie O. Davis puts it over the dead ball line. It is a line drop out to Winston.
Yeah, they're really playing well, the Blues. A lot more second phase play tonight, especially players like Rodney Howe and Brian Fletcher offloading in tackles. Nick Kossup doing his job as well. Bit of luck there, and I just wondered, Laurie, he had some support. If he had another choice, I reckon he'd hang on to that one and not kick it.
I'll tell you what I think he would have done, and that's thrown the long pass to McDougall, who had a bit of space on the outside. Would have been tough to stop. The wave comes again. Guy offloads to Carroll, takes it inside 40, straight through the tackle of Price.
Centre of the ground. They're 30 away from the Queensland line. Vella now. Go forward that they're expecting from the trio of Vella and Howe and Carroll is most important to the New South Wales overall plan. Girdler takes a hard hit. Price in the headgear. Tallis gives him a pat on the rump as Fittler works off to the left of the ground to the 20-metre line. Fittler put down by a three-man Maroons tackle. Tuvey works back to acting half and takes Daly with him down the blind side. Daly, quick hands, catch and pass, but it's gone forward and out. Gee, they set that up quickly.
Oh, that's what Tuvey can do to you. He saw some space down there, saw that they were short on numbers, the Queenslanders. He's done this plenty of times for the Blues in the past. And Laurie just, well, you'd have to say, maybe they should have been deep with those outside backs. Girdler, McDougall.
It was another chance, wasn't it? I've always thought that in the past there's been a little bit of a problem in fitting Andrew Johns, Brad Fittler and Laurie Daly into the same side because they are first receivers. You want them to play selfishly because they are such great players. Tonight, the gel is very good. They're all getting a lot of use of the football, and a lot of times they're into first receiver to dictate terms.
Tony Carroll playing it for Queensland, and there's a penalty going to the Maroons. Clark, early in the game, enforcing a very strict ruling on the play the balls, and at the moment keeping a very strict ruling on the 10. Green it is, the North Queenslander, looking for touch. I don't know that he's going to find it. Oh, acrobatic stuff by the Blues. And it's Geyer away from a couple. Saylor's got him. That was quite fantastic. Who was it? Robbie Ross, I think.
It was Robbie Ross, and Queensland, they wanted to play on.
And Price is taken by Vella and Hill, and they're very close to the line, as you can see. In that northeastern corner, Hetherington long ball, Green equal to it. Then a short ball from Walters for Carroll, lurking out wide. 12 away, centre of the park. To the right again for Jason Smith. He puts a little kick in. McDougall marks it. It'll come back to the 20. McDougall had his peepers right on Jason Smith as he probes and schemes.
Look, he is a great player, Jason Smith, but I've got to say that his kicking game at times does let them down. I think his results are probably less than 50%, and with other kickers, I don't think that's Jason Smith's role, to be quite honest.
Steve Roach is soaking up the rain and the atmosphere on the sideline. Yes, big fella?
Yeah, I've got to say, Tuvey's the difference so far. What he does is keep the markers honest. They've got to worry about whether he's going to run or not. And what it does is take the heat off Rodney Howe and also Mark Carroll. Greenhill's getting stitched up at the moment. He'll be back out in a sec.
Johns is with it. Webke came across, but Ross is with it now. Oh, good tackle. Carroll driving with the legs. Now Tuvey goes back looking for the kick from Fittler. Fittler puts it down, straight down the throat of Wendell Saylor. Well taken by the Australian winger. and he runs into Hill. They're having a good contest there. Geyer and Fletcher all involved in the defence. They're inside the 40-metre line, and O'Davis is with it, having to reach down and take it in. Then McKenna, and he's taken down by Fittler, who is troubled by that groin. He will see a specialist on Friday, and I'm led to believe we'll have the operation as early as next week. So Sydney City, I doubt that Fittler would have it next week, though, with the Origin coming up. But Sydney City are bound to be without him for a period. Rogers down the right of the ground and pulled down again by that man, Robbie Ross. But Queensland on the attack now. Here's Jason Smith. Here's Paul Green. Green is held just inside the 10. And 5 tackles are gone. The Maroons looking for Jason Smith. And here he is losing his footing, but it's a penalty. Penalty going to Queensland.
Now what you do, settle it down, take the 2 points, or keep on the attack. I think Kevy will settle it down, look for Matty Rogers to come in. He just made a sensational run, Matt Rogers. They will take the shot for goal. Chris Close, the big fellow.
Oh, it's a big raincoat.
It's a tent.
Oh, it's 2 raincoats stuck together.
Every drop of rain is coming down on Chris Close. He hasn't missed anything. But Matt Rogers, a fantastic run. He beat 4 or 5 of them. It took a really top tackle from Robbie Ross to save what was a certain try. He'd have gone all the way.
And in the next ruck, Paul Green over in front of the posts. He had a lot of support on the outside. He took the tackle. That was a let-off for New South Wales. And again, a strong block-busting tackle from the 5'8".
Laurie Daly, ladies and gentlemen, has made 11 tackles in this game, and he leads his nearest New South Wales rival by 3 tackles. And that's a second rower called Nick Kosef. This has been a superb farewell in front of a Sydney audience for Laurie Daly so far.
And then there's another 3 tackles from Kosef to the next defender as well. So both the 12 and 6 doing plenty. And Rogers, who continues to limp out there, chance to put Queensland on the board and should do so.
So 4 from 4 at Suncorp, and now he's got 1 from 1 at Stadium Australia. We will break. We'll be back in a moment.
Next time you need a CTP green slip, try GIO. It's as easy as making 1 call. Then you can pay over the phone at any GIO branch or any Australia Post Office. So call 131010 and get the good news the way it ought to be.
The 1.5 Twin Cam XL with power steering now comes with an extra $2,000 sports pack free. That's a free spoiler, CD player and alloy wheels. XL Sports, just $13,990 drive away.
McDonald's McMatch and Win Monopoly. Peel off a game sticker and you can win big prizes instantly. Like $50,000 cash from Aussie Home Loans and Samsung Home Entertainment Systems. McMatch and Win Monopoly. Stick around. This is going to be big.
If you're buying a car, don't just take the dealer's deal for insurance. Before you sign anything, try GIO for comprehensive insurance and CTP green slips. 1 call could save you plenty. So phone 131010 and get the good news the way it ought to be.
Webke taking it up for a second time on this set, and they're getting near the end of this set, as a matter of fact, as Greenhill takes his second run. Daly for Robbie Ross, and he puts it down. It'll be a scrum, and Queensland can relax just for a moment.
Well, pressure let off, that's for sure, but a disturbing sight on the New South Wales bench. Here's the pass from Daly. I think a little bit of confusion. Robbie Ross not knowing which gap to run into. And on the sideline, Mark Carroll reeling away from the last tackle he took. That's twice in the last 10 minutes that he's been on the sideline. I still don't think he's recovered from that initial blow he took in the opening minutes.
We've noticed that Kennedy and Ricketson are getting ready to give New South Wales some fresh legs. And there is the New South Wales bench. Ben Kennedy coming on for his first taste of Origin football. Robbie O'Davis it is with the ball, playing it inside his own 40-metre line. Martin Lang puts on a sprint, but he's met by the defence. Fletcher working hard there with Brad Fittler on that occasion. Down the blind side for Greenhill. And he only had Saylor on his left. And that was the total of the support on that run. Now a kick from Green, going down and plugging before reaching the sideline. 10 metres away from the Blues line, the Wizard Blues. A tackle 10 metres out from their line, and the sting has gone out of it.
It has a bit. No one's worked harder out there tonight than the New South Wales fullback, Robbie Ross. He's doing a bit of the stress himself at the moment, doing it very hard. Rodney Howe, that's a good charge. Michael Vella, and of course these fresh reserves, they need to pull their fingers out now.
Here's Ricketson. Tooby there. spinning around and coming down, losing the ball, and the New South Wales put a boot to it. Then Johns got it away. Kennedy was almost into space on his first touch of the football. 5 gone. There'll be some conjecture over the ruling back there, but I think he got it right. It's with O'Davis now. As he comes away beyond his own 20, he's taken down by Luke Ricketson. Here's what happened back down the ground, and it's lost by Tuvey. I thought he lost it forward, then it came off Queensland, and looking at it now, I do think he should have put a scrum down. From the hands of Tuvey, I'm sure the ball went forward. Now it's Lang. He will play the ball on his own 40-metre line as Walters lines it up. Oh, Greenhill! Hit hard by Rodney Howe.
Well, it's no surprise to see Rodney Howe do that, but the play before, Ryan Girdler, he came in and threw himself at Martin Lang.
Kennedy on for Fletcher as the ball goes to the right, and Walters not frightened to kick. In fact, it's been a feature of the game. It's going down to keep Robbie Ross working, and he's had plenty of that to do, and it's sort of coming through in the zest that is missing from his running now, some 25 minutes into the game. Geyer. Peter was talking about Ryan Girdler and a tackle that he made. I was talking about Rodney Howe. This was Girdler just earlier on. Big hit there on Lang. 30 metres away from their own line. It's with Tuvey now. And Rodney Howe had it lost and got it back in. But both he and Carroll are coming off a short run-up, and they're losing a lot of momentum when they reach the defence line. Ross worming his way along the ground and down the blind for the kick from Johns. He kicks it straight down in the direction of Robbie O'Davis. Not a good kick. It didn't put any pressure at all on the Maroons. Jason Smith, support is coming, but he gets it away on the right, and Rogers goes in. Rogers has scored for Queensland. I thought Jason was going to pass it left to his other Darren, but he went to the right, and Matt Rogers has gone in to get another Queensland try, and in fact he's got all the points in the Origin series so far.
Yeah, just a shortage of numbers as we freeze it there. You can see that Ryan Girdler has come in for the intercept, and straight away just the one New South Wales defender out wide as play continues. I think they probably throw one extra passing here that's not needed. That was the dummy. Robbie Ross really came up with nothing there. I think the passer of the football would have scored in Jason Smith, but he made a bird of it by putting it out wide to Matt Rogers. Kevin Walters did very well, attracted 2 defenders also.
Yeah, great ball from Kev. He held them up on the inside, then there was plenty of space out there, and he had to get it out wide, and Girdler made a mistake. The defensive error made by him. I've got to say, New South Wales hit a wall about 5 minutes ago, and they are really struggling at this stage in both attack and defence. And Jason Smith loves to run the ball down the right-hand side of the field. He's out there now. He's looking around for support. Maybe could have gone himself. Robbie Ross should have done better there, no doubt about it. Round the legs, down goes Jason. But Rogers in the corner.
Yeah, I circled Ryan Girdler coming in for the intercept. In that situation, he's better off backing off. The overlap was just about to be established, and he could have nullified that to some degree if he'd have stayed out of play.
Well, Matt Rogers was denied an Origin try in Brisbane a fortnight ago, but he's got it tonight. Now from 21 out, 5 metres in from touch. What a great kick! That's a terrific conversion of his own try. Queensland are in front by 2.
With the massive power and torque of its big 4-litre V6 and new air pump shockers, the new Ford Explorer tames the toughest terrain. New Ford Explorer. The adventure begins at your Ford dealer.
What kind of country would forget the name of its first Prime Minister?
No idea.
Couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
Perhaps it's because in 1901 our nation was created with a vote, not a war, that we take our beginnings for granted.
I've got no idea.
Don't know.
I'm not sure.
The centenary of Federation is a time to celebrate those beginnings. I think it was Bart.
Edmund Bowden.
And to ask ourselves what kind of country we want for the future. Australia. It's what we make it.
Without it. But it's just amazing that they can even pick the ball up and hang on to it, given the velocity of the tackle. Ross playing it now. Mundine passing, and here's the tackle. Eichen is on the right wing. Will they put a blindside play on down that side? Tuvey comes the other way. Fiddler looks to get it away. It's loose on the ground, picked up by Terry Hill. Put away by Sailor. No gain in ground. Still, there they are. Close proximity to the line. Johns using a running Michael Vella. Vella now playing it. That would be 4 as Tuvey goes away to Johns. Johns on for Fletcher. Fletcher inside for Daly. Daly back again to Johns. Johns away. Intercepted, no. Sailor couldn't get a catch on it. 6 more tackles. Geyer is with it and tackled 8 metres away from the Queensland line. Tuvey there. Stephen Clark remembers to nullify the tackle count. Tuvey, you can see the uprights just there in front of him, 3 metres away. Johns dummies to one side, goes the other. Michael Vella is with it, and he's taken to ground. Time-consuming, letting Queensland set up their defence. Daly punches it. Daly's over. That is a try. Laurie Daly scores a representative try on farewell in front of a Sydney crowd. 10-8. The Blues over Queensland with 6 of the first half to go.
And there is dead set no player out there who deserves this try more than Laurie Daly. It's almost like Wayne Pearce has said, you're only playing half a game. Do your best. Well, he's taken an inside pass there. It was the second set of 6 in a row. Wendell Sailor had given them another set of 6 after missing the intercept. And Daly, he just took the ball at speed, burst through, 17 tackles already next to his name. Now he's got a try as well.
One thing in this game is you can't beat class. Some of the greats have had it. Sterling, Lewis, and this man is up there with the best of them. This isn't a time in the game where you just needed someone to run straight and hard. Very slippery conditions, very hard to defend in that area when there's an angle change. Laurie Daly knew that, called for the inside ball, and over he went.
And that shot there, it was a perfect example how somebody not taking maybe half a metre or a metre towards the play proved all the difference. Tony Carroll, he was just a little bit slow out. See the 16? He just takes a step one too late. If he'd have gone across a touch earlier, the gap wouldn't have been there. It would have been closed up. And just that small lack of effort has cost his team possibly 6. Not far out from half-time, sorry.
No conversion easy now. No kick at goal easy. Girdler from a similar position to where he converted the Robbie Ross try, and he's got this one. Haven't we got some magnificent goal kickers? 12-8 New South Wales blocker after 35.
Well, the change of angle, especially in the wet, is the best play, especially if you've got speed like Laurie Daly. He put pressure on himself today, saying that he would have a blinder tonight, and isn't he rewarding us with one? What a game he's having.
Wally, it really was required, wasn't it? It was just what New South Wales needed.
Well, they needed a big man to put his hand up. Daly did that. He knew that they needed a little bit of direction. We've been saying that they had lost a little bit of their point of attack. They'd slowed down a little bit. And the master put his hand up. Knew exactly right. Robbie Ross, obviously, Robbie Ross is a guy that has been leading them forward all night. But his opponent, Robbie O'Davis, is probably feeling a little bit of a disappointment. I think his teammates can probably say, well, bad luck. We didn't think it was all that bad. But the man that counts, he did.
Carroll now. Tackled. And Bryce goes to ground. That should be 5, and it is. There's the uprights, that's where they are. With the kick coming, he's going to go for a drop goal, I think. No, he puts a little grubber in, and New South Wales clean it up. Well, Kevy, I thought for a moment was going for the drop goal. I'm not sure why, but that's the impression I got.
You lunatic. What's 12-9? Well, anyway, apart from that, it was a good kick, but needed to get into the in goal. Now those tactics really come into it, the grubber, because they're very hard to handle when the ball's on the ground.
Well, was there a knock on there from the New South Wales player? If A. Davis knocked on, I thought maybe that's got to be close to one as well.
This is Kosef now. Tuvey away for Johns. Price is chasing. Daly kicking. And the ball going down to bounce up for O'Davis off his 30-metre line. He's outside the 40, pulled down by Fletcher and Johns. So Johns has made a good contribution on the chase. Sailor now. And he's met there by Kosef and Carroll and pulled down on the halfway line. So it's Robbie O'Davis then at dummy half, and across for Green, and then on for Walters, and Walters on for Darren Smith. Girdler's got him this time. And the play is about 5 or 6 metres into the New South Wales side of play, with the scoreboard showing a 12-8 advantage to the Blues. 2 tries, one to Robbie Ross, the other to Laurie Daly. The Maroons then, just in front of half-time, about 2.25 minutes to go, and the ball has travelled forward.
You described Paul Green's game as confident. That's probably the way it is, Rabs, tonight. Personally, I'd like to see him, well, I don't know about the pass. Stephen Clark was 10 metres away, called it forward. I'd like to see him run a bit more. We know he can run the football. He's very He's got a good step on him, very smart around the rucks, and he likes to take on the big men and duck under them.
Johns feeding what will probably be the last scrum before the break, and they go quickly across to Mundine, playing out in the centres outside there. And he plays the ball 35 metres away from his own line. They look to go down the blind. Girdler threw a dummy, and they almost bought it, but Eichen was there to shut it down with Darren Smith over on the right side of play for Queensland. Now Johns and a torpedo ball, finding Daly, and Daly is put down without any hesitation by McKenna and by Green, and now it's Johns again for Fletcher, getting the ball right on the ad line. Good dummy half play though, and they're just into Queensland territory as the timepiece comes down to a minute and a quarter as Terry Hill tries to make a break. Set up that try for New South Wales at Suncorp a fortnight ago. This is the last tackle. Johns cutting out Kosef wide. Daly cuts out Kennedy, then Girdler. McDougall comes back in. McDougall's on the 30-metre line. Gets a ball for Johns. Johns, the ball might have been touched, was it? Fittler couldn't pick it up anyway. And referee Clark will put a turnover together, and Queensland it is receiving it on their own 30-metre line with Wendell Saylor.
I thought Queensland were a little bit lucky to get out of jail there, Rabs. I thought that ball was definitely touched in flight. I don't see why it would have gone backwards without it. Hetherington the man. Queensland a little bit lucky. Now they've just got to make sure no errors come up. They're certain to attack though.
Jason Smith it is. Wide, the ball to ground, and Queensland losing it backwards, cleaning it up. They're on their own 40-metre line, but both these teams now looking relatively slow by comparison with the start, and that's very, very understandable considering the conditions. But they have given us a marvellous spectacle, really, as Walters puts this kick in. Both the winger and fullback were up very shallow, and Geyer goes back, takes the ball into ground, into the in-goal with him. And there's the siren and the whistle from referee Stephen Clark. So at half-time, we've got a scoreline of 12-8, the Blues over Queensland. 2 tries to 1. That is the half-time score. Laurie Daly having an exceptional game, as is Kevin Walters, the other number 6. We will take a break and be back with Ken and Peter with the highlights from the first half of Origin 2 in just a moment.
She always carries fire with her, like an angel.
The sparks were everywhere.
It tastes as if the strength of the elements had been mellowed for the soul.
If you're buying a car, don't just take the dealer's deal for insurance. Before you sign anything, try GIO for comprehensive insurance and CTP green slips. One call could save you plenty. So phone 131010 and get the good news the way it ought to be.
There's one airline that can connect the people. From across regional New South Wales and the ACT, smoothly and effortlessly to Sydney, every part of Australia, and onto the world. Eastern Australia Airlines. Call your favourite travel agent.
Oh, Scotty, everything just keeps going up and up. Look at all this. Whatever happened to good old-fashioned value?
I've just eaten it. Life's good value when it's crunchy.
I love Michelle's in their springtime. I love Michelle's in the fall. I love Michelle's in the winter when it freezes. I love Michelle's in the summer when it sizzles. I love Michelle's.
Michelle's. MobileNet introduces an easy way to save on your mobile calls. Easy Talk, the pay-by-the-second billing system where the call charge stops the second you stop. Because with Easy Talk, you only pay for the time you use on calls longer than 30 seconds. And it's available on MobileNet's Value 10 and Value 15 plans. So don't waste a second. Talk Easy Talk to your MobileNet dealer now.
I'm so happy I could cry.
If your bathroom's looking a bit sad, call into your TradeLink Ideas store and discover Caroma's Vintage Collection. The vintage pedestal basin, toilet suite and tapware puts turn-of-the-century style at your fingertips. And there's more Caroma at your TradeLink Ideas store.
Now I'm happy.
So if your bathroom's crying out for help, we have all the help you need.
This weekend at Cardiff Trailer, you can save thousands on new Toyotas, Subarus, Kias and quality used vehicles.
But wait, there's more!
And this weekend...
But wait, there's more!
What?
You're right, Cardiff Toyota!
In 1949, Jim Packer laid the foundations of Eastern Australia Airlines. 50 years later, we carry over 500,000 passengers across New South Wales and the ACT. Celebrating 50 years.
Welcome back to the Stadium Australia, and what a game we've got on our hands right now. Here in the wet, we're seeing some terrific wet weather football, but right now, of course, New South Wales are in front of the break, and they've really earned this the hard way. Peter, talk us through the stats.
Yeah, it was a good start by New South Wales and a good finish. They lulled in the middle. The completion rate from, well, both teams was pretty good. 14 from 22 for the Blues, 13 from 20, which did go down a little bit for Queensland. They were great in the first 20 minutes. The line breaks actually favour the team that is behind on the scoreboard. And I've got to say, 10 handling errors in these kind of conditions, it shows the quality of the two football teams on show tonight. So a great effort in that department from both teams.
All right, Peter, well, it only took 42 seconds for New South Wales to post the first points, and what a good try it was. Let's take a look at it.
So it's Johns now going wide, finding Daly. They immediately try and get round him. Girdler's making a great run. Support coming on his inside. Robbie Ross is away. Robbie Ross is going to make it. Robbie Ross is over. New South Wales are in. First set of 6.
Well, you work on these at training and you never quite think that they're going to come off, especially in the first minute of play. It was a beautiful cutout pass. They had decoy runners involved. Laurie Daly took the football. He offloaded to Ryan Girdler. He slipped through and he found Robbie Ross in support on the inside. He had Adam McDougall, a smiling Adam McDougall from that shot on the outside, and the best possible start for New South Wales. Perfectly executed.
Well, Pete, we talked about the intensity of this game early on. It was really hot for about 15-20 minutes. What reason do you think it went off? I mean, I'm talking about the hits. They seem to get a little bit softer. Not that anything soft in State of Origin.
Yeah, it's difficult to work out, Ken. New South Wales, certainly their go forward started to suffer after that first 15 or 20 minutes. Maybe the intensity lifted in Queensland. Maybe the fact that New South Wales got away to such a great start had some effect, and they just went back a gear as well. And that is always dangerous to do.
Well, this was one of the bigger hits in the first half.
We saw some great body collisions already in this game, and Rodney Howe, he generally leads away in that department, but one that really stood out for me as well was that shot by Ryan Girdler on Martin Lang. That's what State of Origin is all about.
Well, Matt Rogers is having a dream State of Origin series so far. He's scored, I think, 17 points in a game and a half of football. Let's take a look at his tries.
New South Wales 40-metre line with the New South Wales defence dropping off. Kevin Walters, a beautiful ball. Jason Smith, support is coming, but he gets it away on the right, and Rogers goes in. Rogers has scored for Queensland.
He's a point-scoring machine, isn't he, Matt Rogers? But great work from Kevin Walters through the dummy. He attracted two defenders. That established an overlap out wide. Ryan Girdler came up out of the line, and Jason Smith, well, he put it on a platter for Matt Rogers. Very good lead-up play, but I think that was also instrumental in the fact that the intensity, just to a small degree, had gone out of the New South Wales defence.
All right, Pete, a couple of key decisions in this first half. There always are, and you can dispute them, and you can have a look at the replay a dozen times, and I don't know that it gets any clearer. You might talk us through this one.
Well, this is the kick from, I think it's Kevin Walters. It's going across, and there's no doubt that Matt Rogers who did fly very high on this occasion, knocks on. Darren Smith comes in to claim the try, but the referee got this one right. The kicking game from Queensland has been pretty good tonight. We said before the match started that maybe that might be an area that New South Wales had the ascendancy. I think Green and Kevin Wallace have handled the role pretty well.
Well, Daly's had a wonderful game, as you pointed out. He is making his last representative appearance in Sydney really count. Might talk us through this.
Yeah, look, it's just Laurie Daly pinning his ears back and saying to the opposition, you're not going to stop me. No matter who you put in front of me, I'm going to run through a brick wall to get there. Fortunately for Laurie, they're only the two defenders. But it's just really epitomised the first 40 minutes we've seen from Laurie Daly. He's played with heart, he's played with soul, he's played with passion. And to be leading the tackle count and every one of the 17 counting, it's really been an inspirational performance from one of the best New South Wales players ever.
Well, Peter, a lot of fabulous sport on Wide Water Sports this evening. Of course, we've got the World Cup match, and it's between Australia and Zimbabwe. This is a must-win game for Australia. That's by Ray Martin and Simon O'Donnell. That's coming up, Australia versus Zimbabwe. And hopefully we've got an update for you. Australia 2 for 83 after 15 overs. Gilchrist 10, Ponting made 36, and Mark Waugh 26 off 28 balls. We're looking forward to seeing all the live action immediately following tonight's State of Origin. And don't forget the footy show. Wow, it's got some tremendous stuff tomorrow night. League legends, Ian Roberts. We've got, of course, soccer superstars, Mike Bosnich and Harry Kuehl. The Origin Gladiator, Martin Lang. That's tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Check your local guides. Peter, any predictions for the second half? How's this game going to unfold?
Well, I'm sure that both teams again would just want to go out and control possession, and when the opportunities present themselves, they've got to get the ball over the line. Really, you know, I'm sure the coaches at half-time are just saying, Mark Murray to his charges, look, we're close enough, we haven't played as well as we'd have liked, this game is there for the taking. Wayne Pearce to the Blues, we're in front, if they don't score, we can't get beat.
Peter, how noisy is this?
Oh, it's great. Look, this is a magnificent atmosphere, and I'm sure that the players for this next 40 minutes are going to run out there, and they'll relish it and draw from the crowd as well. We're in for a super second half.
Okay, we'll be back with Ray Warren with all the action from the second half right after the break at Stadium Australia.
Next time you need a CTP green slip, try GIO. It's as easy as making one call. Then you can pay over the phone at any GIO branch or any Australia post office. So call 13 10 10 and get the good news the way it ought to be.
She always carries fire with her, like an angel.
We're everywhere.
Tastes as if the strength of the elements had been mellowed for the soul.
Yeah, out here we've got 6,000 sheep and 148,000 hectares, and I'm mostly here on my own. 2 years ago I started working with a phone company. And now with a satellite telephone, I can dial up to the satellite, back to a bore, and actually turn pumps off and on and control the water.
Telstra's research and development people.
Now the same mob is experimenting with putting little cameras out there.
Making it easier to make the most of our land.
It rings up the satellite, back to the tower, and it turns the cameras on. Look at this, you fellas. Pump on. Sheep drink. Oh, yeah. really just the beginning.
Making it easy for you.
Hardware House has the biggest range of tools at the best prices. The big tool sale will blow you away. Like the Ryobi 12-volt cordless drill with bonus torch at crazy $99. Hundreds more big tool specials available. It's all here at Hardware House.
With up to $200 off Norseman wood heaters from Barbecues Galore, everyone will want one. Up to $200 off Norseman wood heaters, but only from Barbecues Galore.
Ken Delforce does it again. Another shipment of hard-to-get Nissan program Pulsars has just arrived. Current model Nissan Pulsars with air, power steer and CD player from $14,990 plus rego. Come and get them. Current model Nissan Pulsars from $14,990 plus rego. Only at Delforce Nissan, Warners Bay.
Oh, give me land, lots of land on the starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in.
Make your windows come to life with slimline aluminium Venetians from Lakeview Blinds, Awnings and Curtains. And for this month only, they're 40% off. Sleek, elegant and practical at a very sleek 40% off. Slimline aluminium Venetians, 40% off this month only at Lakeview Blinds, Awnings and Curtains.
Local news. Local sports. Local weather. NBN News. Every day, 7 days a week. NBN News. Your news.
Tonight's State of Origin proudly brought to you by Bundaberg Run, GIO Australia, for a green slip call 131010, and Hardware House, Australia's #1 home improvement centre.
Welcome back live to Stadium Australia, the Nine coverage, the National Nine Network covering the second State of Origin, the Harvey Norman State of Origin, here in front of a tremendous crowd in atrocious conditions. We're in the New South Wales dressing room at the moment. They are leading by 12 points to 8 and switching the cameras across to Queensland. And there's no fuss and bother that you can see from there, and that's what you would expect from State of Origin coaches like Pearce and Mark Murray, even though they are in their first year. Let's have a look at some hit-ups and tackles from that first half. There's the forwards work rate.
Yes, Jeff Tuvey having a fantastic game. We're in that dummy half area with 14 tackles. Brian Fletcher, we haven't seen him run the ball much, but 13 tackles tells us that he's out there doing his best. And Rodney Howe, a great hit-up rate to him with 10 hit-ups. One man, his name isn't there, is Laurie Daly with 19 tackles. Well done by Laurie Daly. Jason Hetherington having another big game, made a huge bust midway through that first half with 16 tackles, doing well. And Smith, McKenna and Webke all doing well around the ruck.
The crowd waiting now for the return of the players for the second half, and just looking around the panel of commentators. Peter, there was a period halfway through the first half when New South Wales started to lose it. The momentum went out of the legs, and by comparison, Queensland were looking to be getting on top.
Yeah, I just wonder what a telling blow that Laurie Daly tried just before half-time will prove in this game, Ray. I've got no doubt that the first 15 minutes, New South Wales absolutely superb. Then Queensland got the ascendancy and the lead, and then Laurie Daly getting over late in that first half. He's just lifted his side. And as I said with Ken Sutcliffe, I'm sure that Wayne Pearce is stressing to his players that, look, if you go out there with a big defensive effort, don't let the opponents cross our line, we won't get beaten. That's exactly what I want to see from you.
Magnificent arena this. I mean, this is certainly going to be looked at by the crowds around the world next year, and they'll be looking at something very, very special. It is our newest, it's our biggest, it's our best, and it's handling tonight very, very well. The playing surface looks ideal as the Queenslanders make their way back out. Kevin Walters, having his first captaincy of Queensland, is also having a very big down by 4. They were down by 6 after 2 minutes, and then they clawed back to lead 8-6 and now trailed 12-8. It was a tough call, I thought, on Queensland. The catch that O'Davis failed to make, that Robbie jogged back onto the park, but I still think it went backwards, and because they could have scrummed down, New South Wales were able to mount the attack, and it was from that Daly was over.
And Paul, it will be very interesting to get the half-time report to find out what, if any, involvement we're going to see from Matt Rogers in this second half, because he's already proven to be a match winner once, and has got a try as well next to his name this evening.
Well, you even said tonight he scored the try, he's kicked the goal from the sideline, he's scored all of Queensland's 17 points in State of Origin this year in this series. So yes, and as I said, in defence, the wing is very hard to defend on, and personally I'd have Matt Singh out in the wing and Icon back in the centres, but we'll have to wait and see. New South Wales, they're back out. They know if they can sort of play the way they did in that first half, maintain that lead, they go to Lane Park in a couple of weeks looking for a 2-1 series win.
It's unknown just what this man is going through to put himself on the park, Brad Fittler, but the news is tonight that the groin will be examined on Friday. There will be an operation before season's end, so as I said earlier, Sydney City are going to have to do without this superstar of a footballer. And then, of course, I would imagine that happens, the operation would happen after all. It's just unknown what he's having to endure, though, to make it through in Origin football at the moment. Stephen Clark, he's done well. He's got a scoreboard of 12-8 in front of him. Nobody's complaining too much, although, as I said, if there was a blemish, it was the call on O'Davis that led to the Daly try. Webke brings it back, first tackle of the second half. 12-8 New South Wales. Carroll making the tackle with Tuvey. No surprise, Carroll involved in a tackle on Webke. They've sorted each other out very much so during the first 40 minutes. The start of the second half then. Third play, and it's Hedrington, who's brought down about 30 metres out from his own line. Playing it back for Kevin Walters. A dummy half he finds himself, and using Webke, taking it out again for the second time on a set of 6. He's certainly putting his hand up. Shane Webke, the kick now coming from Paul Green, a charge down attempt from Rodney Howe, and then Green gets a kick in, and it's going down deep into New South Wales territory. It's a good kick really from Paul Green, and Robbie Ross brings it back now.
And both sides will need to watch their 10 metres here. I'm sure Stephen Clark will again be laying the law down early in this second stanza, keep the teams apart. I wouldn't be surprised to see an early penalty.
A minute of the second half gone as New South Wales get their first use of the football in the second stanza, and it's Rodney Howe to the 40-metre line now for Mark Carroll, a surge to the halfway. We're down to Stephen Roach in a moment, who'll be joined by Andrew Whittinghausen and Alan Langer as New South Wales get a penalty. And again, he's penalising the defence, the would-be markers, for being too slow in rising. And he's been very strict in this area tonight, Stephen Clark. The arm has gone in both directions on an equal amount of times. The penalties are 3-3 as the Blues get an opportunity early in the second half. With Tuvey unloading, Carroll coming down the ground, down the centre of the ground to Hedrington, and together with Tallis they put him down. Again with Tuvey now. This time it's Johns, away for Daly. Daly looks back inside, picks up Robbie Ross, and then back for Fletcher, and Fletcher losing the greasy ball. Geyer goes through with the ball on the boot, and the referee will pack a scrum, and he will give the loose head and feed to Cook. Just inside the 20-metre line. In front of the Queensland posts, Fletcher unable to take it. Ross coming in from the back, and then Fletcher losing it with the impact of the tackle. Tuvey has now been sent to the blood bin with some blood coming down from the top of the right ear, so it appears. Steve Roach is with us now on the sideline, and he's got with him Andrew and Alan. Yes, Steve?
Yeah, Andrew, what did Wayne Pearce say at half-time? He would have been pretty happy, I suppose.
Yeah, he was pretty happy. He thought that Queensland are making too many easy yards up the ruck, and he wants them to jam right in the New South Wales side, and he said force them to go around you. Slippery conditions, and they'll probably head over the sideline. He also said that the deep kicking game is what it's going to take to win this match. They've been playing too much down in their own territory. They need a deep kick, and when they do get down there, get that ball in the air. He wants to see them bombing Sailor, and now they've got a new replacement out on the field. Matty Rogers gone off, and now the Blues are attacking. So he said they're looking good.
So we'll come back to the sideline in just a moment. There is an attacking raid on for the Blues with Nick Kosef 10 metres away, centre of the ground. Mundine for Johns. Johns, a long pass for Daly. Daly inside ball. Fletcher back to Robbie Ross, and Ross is so close again. Playing it back for Mundine, and then Daly holds it back. Carroll barging for the line, pulled down 2 metres away. Mundine again, a dummy half. He can't go left, he goes back to the right, and it is Kosef just flopping the ball up there for Fletcher. Fletcher looking to get rid of it, gets out of a tackle, and is pulled down 8 metres away from the Queensland line. Played back for Robbie Ross, now with Andrew Johns. Johns puts on a sprint, and Johns is tackled again. 1 metre from the line onside. From Robbie Ross, a dummy half. Daly puts in a little kick, beautifully taken by Ben Aiken, but it'll be a line drop out to restart.
Sustained pressure there from the Blues, but what wonderful tackling from Queensland, especially from Shane Webke and Jason Smith coming across to deny Robbie Ross a try. That was Benny Aiken trying to get out of dummy half too quickly. Girdler swooped, good attack and tremendous defence.
They looked like they were through 5 times, didn't they, there? New South Wales, Johns, Daly all looked like they were going to score. That great Queensland spirit held them out. Can they do it again? Oh, it's an ordinary drop kick from Paul Green.
It's a very ordinary drop kick, and it was beautifully taken by Kosef. That was a mongrel of a ball to pick up, but he did it very capably. They set up another opportunity with Rodney Howe on play number 2, taking it towards the centre. They're 15 metres out from the line. Johns is with the ball. Long pass. Out with Daly. Daly goes out for Robbie Ross. He tries to step and beat them, but he's pulled down well by Matt Singh. Now it's Terry Hill heading off towards that bottom corner, and he's pulled down about 3 metres out. That would be tackle 4, and it's Geyer a dummy half. Back into the hands of Daly. Daly for John. Johns leaves the 20 metres behind him. Fittler goes back over towards the right of the ground, and that is 5 tackles gone for the Blues. Tuvey now, looking to get it away. Johns is with it, puts a grubbing kick in, and again Ben Aiken is there to pick it up and take it to ground safely for Queensland. So let's go back and complete that halftime summary. Yes, Stephen?
Yeah, just one more quick one to ET. Did Wayne Pearce mention the flat spot after such a good start from the New South Wales team?
Yeah, he said the boys did start well, but unfortunately they did fall into a flat spot. They can't afford to do that in this second 40, and the boys have started on fire, so I think they've definitely taken that to heart.
All right, mate, thanks very much for your time. We've got Alfie down here. Mark Murray, what did he say at half-time? I suppose he would have been happy with the comeback after the first couple of minutes.
Yes, he was, mate. He was very happy with the effort, but the main things he wanted the boys to concentrate on was dummy half running, especially in these conditions, to cut down the big fellas, their defence, and also when we're kicking, especially putting the ball in goal. We've been letting New South Wales off too much pressure down their own half.
Okay, mate, one more. Jason Smith was outstanding in the first half. He touched the football. Can he be the game breaker for Queensland?
Well, I think he's got to be the game breaker. If he's touching the ball and handling the ball a lot more than he has in the first half, I think Queensland are going to come up with the victory.
Alfie, get your little body out of the weather. Back to you, Ray.
Thank you, Alan Langer, Andrew Eddinghausen, Steve Roach, 3 of the Origin greats on the sideline. Webke away. Walters did well. Turned his back on the defence. Smith gives it inside for Tallis, and Tallis is tackled 35 metres away from the Blues line. Here they come again, the Maroons. Jason Smith is met there by Ryan Girdler and held with Brad Fittler, and he will play the ball just beyond the Blues' 20-metre line. Darren Smith at acting half, and it's gone to Paul Green. Across the ground, left for Walters. On for O'Davis in from the back. He runs away from Matt Singh. He runs away from Terry Hill. He gets the ball for Wendell Saylor. Saylor is put down, and they're 15 away from the line. Play back again for Singh, and it's with Walters, and he cuts out Greenhill, finds Green. Green away for Jason Smith, throws the dummy, tries to beat them. They've got the ball wedged against the midrip. The ball goes to ground. What's he going to do? He gives 6 more tackles to Queensland, and Green played it. Smith bounces away from the defence, and Jason will play the ball. A metre from the line. A chance for Queensland to go back to the lead. Tallis hits the uprights and bounces back.
And they're big numbers to the left, but unfortunately for Queensland, we've got a flood bin.
Darren Smith.
And they're still short on the far side. If New South Wales don't number up on the right-hand side, they're inviting Queensland to score.
Now, Spud Carroll has also been told to go to the blood bin. Both Carroll and Darren Smith to the blood bin, and this interruption will not help Queensland in their endeavours to get the ball over the line.
Well, Gordon Tallis, he's dead set nearly knocked the post down there. It's still shaking at the top, up where the flag is. It's unbelievable.
Just wait.
What I like about his commentary, he can read something into the game, things that other people can't see. Now, it is Tallis who will play the ball. Adjacent to the upright that is still wobbling from impact. Green back for McKenna, and McKenna is put away. 8 metres out now, but that little break in play has probably helped the Blues. Greenhill, he's put down on 5. Hetherington, looking for his playmaker, finding Green. Green puts a grubber in, and McDougall is back there, and the half was beating a double pace, but they will get it back. And Adrian Lamb riding every inch of the way with his Queensland Maroons.
I think any sort of kick into the in goal area at this stage of the match, high, low, in between, doesn't matter. It's still going to be very hard to handle.
Not a bad drop kick. In fact, in these conditions, a pearler of a kick as Lang comes back to be tackled on the 30-metre line. They were good yards by Lang, and now it is with Greenhill. He will play the ball in the centre of the ground. Running towards the southern end of the park is Queensland, trailing by 4. Green works with Tallis this time, and Tallis has got his arms free, and then takes the tackle, is pulled down by the number 15, Michael Vella. But they're putting on pressure again. Now they attack the 20-metre line, and McKenna is put down. In fact, they're inside the 20. They're down on the 10. And the aerial's coming from the Goodyear blip tonight as it comes away for Tallis. Off the feet of a New South Wales player. Fittler's into the space. They're going to run him down. He'll get to the halfway line and then pull down about 5 metres into Queensland's territory. But now Queensland trying to regather. Girdler, Kosef, Johns. Johns cut out. Daly with it. Over the 40. Pass back inside for Terry Hill. He can unload if he can see a support. But he takes it to ground. Tuvey now. A little scurry away from dummy half. That takes them 25 metres out from the line. Robbie Ross goes into dummy half. There's the aerial picture as Kosef or Fletcher runs it to the 10-metre line. He will play the ball now. They're right in the centre of the park. They set it up on both sides. Johns goes back. Vella runs to the right. Vella stands, offers the ball. Then it's with Fittler. Fittler gets it away. It went forward. And the ball to ground. He'll put a scrum down. And it'll be a Queensland loose-headed feed.
Well, we saw Gordon Tallis try a shock tactic at the far end of the field. A little grubber through. And a touch of fortune for New South Wales coming up with the football through Brad Fittler. Unfortunately, 6 rucks later. Pretty good tackle there from Chris McKenna. Forced a mistake from the same man. End-to-end stuff.
Pete, I think you've got to pay a lot of credit to the New South Wales defence. I think the kick that came from Tallis was more out of frustration than anything else. They had the Blues buckled over the line and they simply just couldn't get through.
Let's check that injury with Matt Rogers. It's 8-5 for handling errors, as you just saw bottom of screen. Stephen, what's the story on Rogers?
Yeah, it's a cruciate ligament damage. He will not be back. Ben Ikin will take over the goal kicking for the Queensland side. Martin
Lang then, 42 metres away. There's Rogers back on the bench. Hetherington using a blindside raid. Jason Smith goes back in. Hetherington back for Green. Green swallowed by his opposite number, Johns. And players on the halfway line with the boot of Walters, and McDougall was up in the play. He was up very flat. Ross will wish it to go over, and it does. So they'll come back for the 20-metre tap to restart.
But there's certainly not much time on the field for Anthony Mundine tonight. Is that surprising to you?
Very surprising. Tuvey's having a great game, and he's the kind of player who I think needs a lot of involvement, Jeff Tuvey. I think he relishes the amount of game time that he gets in the middle of the ruck. But Anthony Mundine, look, he's an impact player. I'm surprised maybe that Wayne Pearce hasn't used him more down in the 20-metre attacking zone.
Here's New South Wales now trying to go wide and get round the Queenslanders. And it's Girdler who's smashed into the turf, 40 metres out from his own line. Robbie Ross, dummy half. Michael Vella is the first receiver, and he takes the play. A forward play towards halfway. As Tuvey moves in to dummy half, and then with Fittler. Fittler puts that right foot to it. It's a big kick travelling over the head of Saylor. Saylor comes back, and O'Davis is in front of him to take it away. O'Davis then met by Daly again. He's always first man up there. 19 tackles at half-time for Daly. Saylor. And a complete break by Saylor. Saylor put down eventually a shoulder from Robbie Ross. And underneath making the tackle was Matt Geyer, but a big contribution from Saylor. Now it's Matt Singh, tackled 45 metres out from his own line. Good clearing run by Saylor, wasn't it? Green, a short ball. Jason Smith gives it back to him. Paul did well. He juggled it, took it back in under pressure. And he plays it eventually 5 metres into New South Wales territory. Darren Smith using Tony Carroll. And Carroll is put down by Rodney Howe. Underneath the tackle of Luke Ricketson. Down the blind, Jason Smith puts a kick in. Robbie Ross scurries across. He's going to let it bounce. He'll be trapped in goal, I would think. Darren Smith is there, but he gets it away to Matt Geyer. Good play by Robbie Ross and Matt Geyer. They're 10 metres out from the line now.
Well, they obviously know each other very well, both being from the Melbourne Storm. And it was good combination because there's no way known Robbie Ross would have got back in the field to play. Cool head. Geyer did well to get back and allow the pass to be thrown. And he picked up 12 metres on the outside of McKenna.
This is a very important set of 6 for New South Wales. They've been under some pressure and they're having trouble getting it out from inside their own 20. That was a fortuitous ball. It's gone from Tuvey through Johns and gone through Hill. Geyer takes it in eventually, comes away from the sideline. Saylor's got him, so has Walters. And they put him down about 32 metres away from his own line. We are in the 53rd minute of the game. The tackles are practically even. Only 3 the difference. 40-metre line now. And this is the last tackle, so they're inside the 40. Oh, knock on! A knock on, was it from Tuvey? No, it went unchecked and it's with Johns now.
Well, I don't know whether Jeff Tuvey touched it or whether it was just a hitting the boot of the man who played it.
Well, we'll go back and have a look at it. It certainly looked as though it was. Let's see. It's come off the boot. So my apologies to Stephen Clark and to Jeff Tuvey, but it certainly writes the record. And Smith goes away for Green, who runs across and then straightens. And he's lost the ball in a one-on-one situation, is it? And played there by Tuvey. So New South Wales are 30 metres out, 25 metres out now, 22 out, as Johns prepares to play it. Fittler looking around, looking for runners. Carroll takes it ahead, and he's put down 15 from the Queensland line. Tuvey then, way to the right, picking up Fittler. Fittler back off the shoulder of Ricketson, Queensland ball.
Yeah, Brad Fittler had a little hole on his outside. That's where he wanted Ricketson to run. And Ricketson went back on the inside. No option but to pass it to him. Now Matty Singh. This is good stuff from Queensland. Good running from him.
Queensland trailing 12-8, and 14 minutes of the second half gone, with Jason Smith under that New South Wales tackle.
And you get a feeling that that's a 13-minute or 14-minute period where we should have seen some points added by New South Wales as Price juggled the football. They really had a lot of things going for them early in this second half. Hadn't got it over the line, and Paul Green. It's a pretty good kick away in between the fullback and the winger, and one of them is going to have plenty of work to do in one moment.
Well, Wendell Saylor was the only one down there, and he's done a magnificent job.
Look, we gave him a rap a minute ago, Ross and Geyer, but on that occasion they ambled back. They didn't get in a position to run the football out. It would have been much easier this time because there's only one chaser in Wendell Saylor. If Geyer had sprinted and got back on the other side and allowed Ross to pick the football up, they could have got out of there.
One player struggling is Andrew Johns. He's right under the sticks there. He's hobbling around on one leg. He looks like he's in a mile of trouble. Mundine now gets a chance. Johns to the bench.
Just a reminder, immediately following the State of Origin, we're watching around Australia and across the world. We've got the World Cup of Cricket with Australia in that important match against Zimbabwe. We'll take you to that at Lord's with Ray Martin and Simon O'Donnell hosting. That will be live from Lord's immediately following the football, as Miss Price it is brings it back to be tackled in the middle of the ground, just inside the 30-metre line. New South Wales enter the park. Hetherington using Greenhill, and Greenhill gets it to the 20-metre line. 4 points to margin, but one gets the impression that Queensland are about to whittle it away. Green, dummy. Jason Smith goes out for Tallis. Tallis to the 10-metre line, and he's put down there by McDougall. And plays it back for Aiken to go over for Green, and Green then for Stephen Price. And Price, a three-man tackle. He had his arms free. I thought he was going to get rid of the ball. That's the fourth tackle. Now they're only 5 metres away. They come back to the right of the ground to the playmaker Jason Smith, and he's picked up there by Fittler and put down with the aid of Ricketson. And 5 tackles are now gone for the Maroons. Darren Smith finds himself at acting half. They go across to Ben Aiken. They go looking for Wendell Saylor's jump. Pressure on Geyer. Geyer's got the ball, and he comes back into the field of play. Well, he had a surge of Maroons coming down on him, and he's come out with Lady Luck smiling on him.
Unbelievable. As they now make some good metres through Jeff Tuvey, but when they all went up, you would have thought that Wendell Saylor was favoured for this one, but they've all missed it, and they came down safely into the arms of Matt Geyer.
Andrew Johns, we're told, has damaged a right knee, so there's a big question mark on whether the number 7 will be back for New South Wales. Bella.
I'd like to be sure of winning the lottery as I am of seeing Andrew Johns back in this game, Ray.
Tuvey then. The sloppy play the ball by Michael Bella. And it is Tuvey who's put down just inside his own 30-metre line for Daly to kick now, and he goes down between fullback and winger towards the right of the ground for Queensland. And it's Robbie O'Davis just ambling back before asking Ben Aiken to take it out and meet the shoulder of Mark Carroll. Now it's O'Davis, a run for himself, away from dummy half of 23 metres. A good run by the fullback. And he'll be told to play the ball. In fact, there's the tackle being called now. The last, and it was Saylor. Well, that was 4 under the party. Saylor was put down and tackled on the 40-metre line. As it comes across now for Green, and Green goes in for Tallis, and Tallis is put down. He will play the ball, and it is with Walters now. Walters back on the inside for Tallis, and Tallis sprinting down. There's the 5th tackle now. That earlier call certainly wasn't anything like 4 or 5. The ball rolled into the in goal. Robbie Rosso! He has taken a calculated gamble. It's paid off for him.
Oh, and Jabba the Hutt sits back down, Big Choppy. I'll tell you what, he did really well. He made the tackle before. He was marked. He had to sprint back. He was hoping it went over the in-goal line. It did with his assistance in the end. There's plenty of strugglers out there, let me tell you, for the Blues. Queensland just look at touch pressure at this stage.
Hoping.
So the line dropout is down to the Queenslanders, and they're going to be tackled back 25 metres out from the Blues line. There's plenty of spring in the step of the Maroons at the moment. Hetherington away, and a juggle by Webke before securing the ball. He will play it, Shane Webke, as they set up another attack. And it's Walters scheming and probing, and McKenna. Did McKenna obstruct? That's what he's penalised for. Tuvey is down on the ground. There's another one down off to the right that McKenna has given obstruction to Walters, and a penalty goes to the Blues.
Well, it's Anthony Mundine, the player who was unable to get to the man carrying the football. That's what a shepherd or an obstruction is, stopping the defender getting to the man carrying the footy. And that was a really well-received penalty. Oh, where's Carroll again? But down. Knocked back anyway. Still down,
Carroll cannot get up. He's down and taken the count as Vella runs into another raid of defence from Queensland. And referee Stephen Clark calling a halt. Some attention is sent across in the direction of Mark Carroll. This was the hit, the big fella. Now, was there anything illegal in it? As they come in, Hetherington got him with the point of the shoulder. Shoulder charge from Webke, nothing illegal that I can see. Do you reckon there was a cocked elbow? We will take a break. Be back having another look at it in just a moment. 12-8 to the Blues.
The new Leganza is on its way with a new 2.2-litre engine, air conditioning, CD player, Italian styling, alloy wheels, and it's here already. Look out for it. Daewoo Leganza at just $25,000 with 3 years scheduled servicing, courtesy of Free Care.
McDonald's McMatch and Win Monopoly. Peel off a game sticker and you could win big prizes instantly. Like Honda HR-V Sports and PlayStation Platinum packs. McMatch and Win Monopoly. Stick around. This is going to be big.
He ought to buy himself a lottery ticket.
Down that bounces towards the 10-metre line with O'Davis now bringing it back, coming down the western touchline. Met there by McDougall and Good. Darren Smith to Ben Aiken. Has to beat the forward. Was put down there by the lock, Fittler, and the second row of Crosshairs. It's away for Martin Lang. Lang runs into Howe. They go to ground together. Cuts out Tallis, finds his captain, he goes out to Singh, and Singh is out to the 40-metre line where he's met and pulled down by Daly and Hill. Walters then finding another running forward, Chris McKenna this time. And McKenna on the halfway line, put down on tackle number 5 as Walters provides the ball across the Green. Green's kick turns Robbie Ross around, and it's down just inside the 10-metre line. There he is, leaving it behind him now, and then a good tackle by Hesler. He's as keen as mustard, isn't he? Really covers a lot of territory, gets through a lot of defence. That was his tackle, secured there by Martin Lang. Mundine away for Rodney Howe, and Howe is tackled on his own 30-metre line. 12-8 still, the second half scoreless as Terry Hill tries to promote for New South Wales. Mundine to the left of the ground, Kosef. He will play the ball almost on the halfway line.
He's had a good game too, Nick Kosef. So is Jeff Tuvey, but I really think that this man here, Mundine, could be the difference in this second half. Up against tired legs, although this kick might go a touch too far, he is really going to be a danger, and even with Tuvey on the field, I'd be finding a slot for Mundine somewhere in the 13.
So the tap, which is more or less the optional restart. We've been shown in the last couple of weeks that players have been game enough to chance the punt. It is an optional tackle. And so Davis is pulled down. He's about 35 off his own line as Queensland get this use of the football, and it is Sailor. 4 points tonight in favour of the Blues as Hetherington comes across for Walters to go deeper across the back line for Paul Green. Green causing some trouble for the big men to pull him down. Ricketson does that on the halfway line. Jason Smith across for Tony Carroll. Carroll runs at Mundine and takes that player in the defence inside the 40-metre line. Mundine hangs on as long as he can as Hetherington gets a pass away for Walters. It wasn't a good pass. It's now with Green. Now they've got some numbers down the right of the ground. Darren Smith, he puts a pass back on the inside. Came off the feet of New South Wales. Came down to Ben Aiken. He gets a pass away, and it's back with New South Wales now. So Stephen Clark will give the advantage to the Blues, and they will play it just outside their 10-metre line.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why Ben Aiken would have tried to throw that pass there. I think the referee would have been tempted to give 6 again after it came off Luke Ricketson's legs.
The Blues now with Bailey probing and Terry Hill taking it down to the 40-metre line. New South Wales have got a big back line out to the left of the ground. Rodney Howe, though, takes a forward run over the halfway. Put down just into Queensland's area from Robbie Ross to the right for Johns, and Johns tries to bust them himself. He's pulled down by a desperation tackle from Jason Hetherington. Daly for Ross. Stand still football. Ross with a little chip. Oh, Lang had it, and then Ross tried to pinch it off him. Oh, Davis is away with it for Queensland to be tackled.
Exciting football, isn't it? Despite the wet conditions, that was a case of who wants it. So it's like a hot spud as they tossed it around. Davis looks like he's in some trouble. A nice little chip kick from Ross. Not high enough. Lang had it, lost it. Ross had it, lost it. Smith had it, passed it. And then Kevin didn't want it, he passed it.
So there's problems here for Robbie Ross at 12-8 and the 63rd minute. And this is how it happened. It is the right ankle. There's a big, big problem here for Robbie O'Davis. So we will take a break and be back with you with the outcome of that injury to Robbie in just a moment. It's 12-8 in the Origin number 2 at the 63rd minute.
She always carries fire with her, like an angel.
The sparks were everywhere.
Tastes as if the strength of the elements had been mellowed for the soul.
Right now, every new Camry and Vienta comes with $1,000 worth of free petrol during our hottest sale. That means if you spend around $20 a week on fuel, you could drive nearly all year for free. Get in quick.
Variety is important in any relationship. Now Whiskers has a range of delicious flavours, one for every day of the week. All in a handy size for a fresh, new taste every day. Whiskers, part of every healthy relationship.
Still doubting whether he will send him out there, but look, New South Wales need some fresh legs. Ben Kennedy's just come on, and I saw him on the sideline. He looks as fresh as a daisy. He can bust tackles. They need him out there.
Here's Lang taking it up for Queensland. He's brought down 10 metres short of halfway. Hetherington across now for Webke. Webke running at Ricketson and Tuhu. They pull him down. Play right on the halfway line as Hetherington just lays it on the stomach there of Green before it goes to Walters, and Walters will play the ball back to Hetherington. They come back on the right of the ground, and it's Green who puts in a low trajectory pump that's taken by McDougall back on his 20-metre line. He gets under, and he goes through, and he steps off his left foot. He goes back to the centre of the ground, looking to link up with Robbie Ross, and he'll play the ball. Ross acting to the right, they keep going. Johns it is, inside the 40-metre line, and Hill is able to bump away from Carroll's tackle, but now he's down and forced to play at 35 metres out from the Queensland line. Daly for Johns and Johns for Ricketson. Luke Ricketson, he will play the ball right in the centre of the ground. 12-8 the Blues, no addition to half-time. Johns, the pass left behind by Kennedy, picked up by Daly. And the referee ruling play on. As, I think he signified 4 tackles gone. It's with Fittler now, back and across behind them. And then Girdler got a pass away. Fittler for McDougall. And McDougall is put down just outside the 20 on 5. A good set of 6 for New South Wales. A gain of 70 metres on 5 tackles as John puts it in the air. Here come the jumpers. Sailor's got it beautifully. Just a little juggle, but he was under pressure. But he saved for Queensland.
You won't see a better take than that one from Wendell Sailor. He had no chance of catching it. The ball was swirling. It was a spiral kick all over the place. He misjudged it in the end. It was back over his shoulder. Somehow he's gathered it in. That's just great. Great tip.
Martin Lane will take some of this pressure away from Queensland. They're playing the game at the wrong end of the park, obviously. With a 4-point deficit looking down on them. McKenna. And this is the last tackle for Queensland. They'll go looking for the boot, and it's Green that provides it. McDougall on the left wing, watching Robbie Ross as he brings it back. A 10-metre gain by Ross before he meets the opposition. And it's Stephen Price that puts him there. Girdler then from dummy half. His confidence buoyed by a freakish pass that he unloaded just a minute ago. And they approach the halfway line with Ben Kennedy this time. And Kennedy, as Walker pointed out, fresh in the legs. He plays the ball, and the Blues find Johns going across for Daly. Daly on for Hill. They try to get round him. Here's Geyer down the right, putting a kick into the centre. Sailor is there. He's all over the place, Wendell. He's been cleaning up all night for Queensland.
Well, he's a great winger. Wayne Pearce looks on. His team in front, only by 4 points, though. Wendell's always been a frustrated fullback for mine. He can be devastating from the back there.
Greenhill, Hetherington for Smith, Jason. Going back into the middle, getting a ball away. Hetherington was there waiting for it. Green is with it, and Green looks at Tallis in the centre. Darren Smith on his outside takes the tackle. Darren Smith then. Andrew Johns blocking up the centre. Gets a round of applause from Brad Fittler for his defensive work, and then Greenhill goes to the halfway line, and there's McKenna again getting almost into the obstruction zone. It's the last tackle for Walters now, and he puts a kick in down behind Matt Geyer. This time he's putting some speed on to get back there, and he passes across to Robbie Ross, and Ross, he has to contend with the defence and is put down about 5 metres out from his own line. Steve Roach on the sideline.
Yeah, just talking about Wendell Sailor at fullback, that was a message from Wayne Pearce at half-time. Get down that end and put some pressure on Sailor. He could come up with an error.
Tooby then, using Fittler. Fittler lifting that left knee fairly high, 25 metres out from his own line. Tooby goes back to the centre. The pass looked a bit questionable. It is with Hound. As some changes take place on the New South Wales side. Carroll apparently is back into the game. In fact, Big Spud is out there now. That was the change they just made. As the ball is played over there by Brad Fittler, and Tooby goes back across for Johns, and then wide for Daly. Daly puts a kick in. They're doing a lot of passing. They're not going forward very often, though, apart from off the boot, and it's with Aiken.
Well, it's been a little bit surprising for the first 67 minutes, Ray, that the interchange bench hasn't been used that much from Wayne Pearce. Ben Kennedy, Steve Roach spoke about. I've been surprised Mundine hasn't been out there longer. But we might find that that's been a masterstroke from Wayne Pearce in this last 15 minutes, where they might just have some fresh legs. Mark Murray doesn't have that at his disposal, especially with Rogers and possibly O'Davis out for the rest of the game.
It's a good effort, a bullocking performance by Stephen Price as Queensland mount an attack. A little opportunity there for them. Paul Green caught well. Jason Smith holds it for brother Darren, and Darren is held about 15 metres away from the Blues line. Ben Aiken back in half, and now Jason Smith. Kevin Walters with him through the dummy. Knocked down off the hand of a New South Wales player. This might be a scrum.
First one by New South Wales.
Yes, I think you'll find Stephen Clark is right.
New South Wales and then Queensland.
Yes, it was Nick Cossip got his hand in there. Jason Smith was trying a miracle pass. And Brian Fletcher it is. Sorry to Nick, but Brian came in, knocked the ball down. Another bonus for the Queensland side is the scoreline, 12-8. They only have to draw this match to win the series, really.